Hiya guys, welcome back to yet another episode of the Basement Bounce Off. I'm Jesse Jones, as you already know, and to be quite honest, this is probably the first episode I've done talking to you guys for probably about 3 or 4 weeks. It's been a bit of a hectic few weeks, might I say, and yeah, this is the first ever day officially that I am a civilian. For everyone that knows me, I've done 3.5 years in the Royal Air Force, and it's been an absolute blast, and I just want to say thank you to all the people that I've met along the way. It was an absolutely incredible journey, and I wish everybody the best of luck in anything they do. So yeah, anyway, let's stop being serious. Before I begin, just want to congratulate all the Republicans over in America. The Donald is in. So yeah, everyone in America is kind of going crazy right now, especially with a Democrat right now. People running around, burning flags, protesting outside churches, really giving the Christians an hard time, which I'm not a fan of. Leave them alone. And whoever's writing #NotMyPresident on their foreheads, running around like an absolute belter, needs to chill their beans. I kind of want to start my own hashtag, and it is #NotMyWensleydale.
That's it, cheese. We'll go somewhere where there's cheese.
Let's just start something new in there. Let's just be positive. Yeah. Also in the news, we've seen a guy bungee jump 73 meters, which is 250 foot, off the platform, dunk a hobnob into a mug of tea. Absolutely brilliant scenes. And all I've got to say about that is, how about you try it with a rich tea next time, Si? See how far you get with that one. And another thing that has absolutely blew my mind, right, is some Ghanaian lady ordered a takeaway this week and found this in her soup.
I hate snakes, Chuck! I hate them!
And yeah, she was going to send it off to laboratory forensics to get it tested to find out exactly what it was. End of the day, Asuska, it was a piece of male genitalia. Get over it. Anyway, moving on. Let's get to the predictions. It is an absolutely stacked weekend this weekend. We've got 2 UFC cards. We've got Invicta, Bellator. We've got so many world title fights this weekend. The big George Groves fight with Edward GUTKNECHT. But the big one, Andre Ward versus Kovalev. Massive fight. But let's begin with MMA. My predictions. Bellator 165. It's taking place in San Jose this weekend. I think it's a bigger card than both of the UFC cards, in my opinion. You've got the debut of Kimbo Slice, Kevin Ferguson Jr. You've got Linton Vassell on the card. The ones I'm concerned about though is Michael Page versus Fernando Gonzalez, and Michael Chandler against Benson Henderson for the lightweight title. In the co-main event, you've got Michael Page. He's 11-0 right now, 10 knockouts. This guy is definitely by far the most confident MMA fighter in the sport right now. He is so confident, cocky. His striking ability is so fast. He can hit you from literally anywhere. He's fighting Fernando Gonzalez, who's had probably just under 40 fights, but who is he beaten? And he's lost against a lot of average competition. Gonzalez is not going to be able to stand in there with him. Michael Page is going to be too much for him, and it's going to be a first round KO. In the main event, we've got Michael Chandler. He's going up against ex-UFC champion Benson Henderson. Now, Michael Chandler's a 2-time champion of Bellator in his own right, and he's beaten some people like Eddie Alvarez. He's beaten some top competition. Basically, you have Michael Chandler, who's a very talented, accomplished wrestler, and you have Benson Henderson, who's also a very good wrestler, plus he's very good at being evasive, and he's got very fluid movement on the feet. I can see Benson Henderson wanting to keep his standing, using his range, picking him off, movement, and letting Michael Chandler sort of come at him, a bit like what we see with the Conor McGregor Eddie Alvarez fight. Move, hit him with those leg kicks, keep him at arm's distance, and get in a decision. I don't think Benson Henderson's even going to try and take out Chandler, because Chandler's so tough. My opinion for this fight, I believe, is going to go. I think it's going to go the full 5 rounds, and I'm going to go with Benson Henderson, 5-round decision. Then you've got UFC Sao Paulo. It is the first, actually by the way, if you don't already know, UFC have 2 simultaneous cards on this weekend. I don't know if that's been done before, I've not seen it be done before. I think it was due to the BJ Penn Lamas cancellation card. But yeah, Ryan Bader, he is taking on Antonio Ruggiero Nogueira in a rematch. These guys fought, I think, 5 years ago, and Ryan Bader took him 3 rounds and won a decision. Now Ryan Bader has by far improved since that fight. He doesn't have just his usual wrestling overhand right. He has literally a lot more tools than he did 5 years ago. His striking's gone a lot better. His ground game's got a lot better. His striking abilities are way more advanced than what they were. And Antonio Ruggiero Nogueira is obviously known for his brilliant Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Obviously he's the Nogueira brothers, and he's good. He's a very good boxer as well. Obviously he's knocked out a lot of big opponents. My opinion for this fight is going to be Ryan Bader knockout 2nd round. Then we have the UFC Belfast card. Now this one is close to my heart and many other Welsh fans. We have 2 Welsh fighters on this card. Brett Johns, who is a bantamweight, who's ex-Cage Warriors champion, ex-Titan FC champion, and we also have Jack Marshman at middleweight. He's ex-Cage Warriors champion himself, so these 2 are very good fighters. Jack Marshman a little more experienced, but Brett Johns with a 12-0 winning streak. So 2 very good accomplished MMA fighters. I can see both of them coming away with a win. That's not me just being biased. I can see Brett Johns taking out Kwan Ho Kwak. I don't think Ho Kwak has ever experienced anybody like Brett Johns before, and I don't think Magnus Sedenblad is going to be able to handle the intensity of Jack Marshman's debut. So that's just my opinion. Gegard Mousasi versus Uriah Hall in another rematch in the main event. In the first fight, Uriah Hall threw that spinning back kick, as he likes to do, took him to the cage and absolutely laid it on him. No, I think this fight's going to be a lot more differently. I think that Gegard Mousasi is going to be a lot more aggressive in this fight. I think he's going to want to keep that distance close, and I think he's going to use his strength to actually outpower Uriah Hall this time. Uriah Hall only gets successful with clean shots when he has distance in between his opponents. So that'll be interesting to see, can Uriah Hall keep the distance, and can Gegard Mousasi get in there, use his kickboxing, use his hard strikes, even take Uriah Hall to the ground and absolutely just stuff him. And I can see this being a turn of events this time. I can see Gegard Mousasi going in there, and I can see him really putting the pressure on him, and I can see him getting a TKO. I'm going to go 3rd round TKO. Now in boxing, there's probably only 3 fights that I'm interested in this one, and this is number 1, Dmytro KUCHER, who has just absolutely dismantled Enzo Maccarinelli in a round against Marco Huck, who previously lost his title against Glowacki, and he's just won back his IBO Cruiserweight title, so it's a World Championship fight. 2 of these men have power in both hands. The difference between, I think, these 2 is Dmytro KUCHER is a very patient fighter. He waits and counter punches you with devastating rights, devastating left hooks. He is fast for a cruiserweight also, where you have Marco Huck, who is slightly more experienced. These 2 men, by the way, have 50 knockouts, just under 50 knockouts between them. Marco Huck, he has been in some absolute wars, and he knows what it's like to be on a tear. Losing only 3 fights, I think, out of the 42 fights, something ridiculous. But yeah, Marco Huck, he does get, as he's got older, his speed, Marco Huck's speed is still there. When he's in the pocket with his fighters and he's getting caught, he's starting to make mistakes, and that's what we've seen with the Glowacki fight. I think Dmytro KUCHER is a very dangerous opponent for him. I think if KUCHER stays relaxed and focused like he usually does, I can see him picking apart Marco Huck and getting his 25th win. So I'm going to go with Dmytro KUCHER. I'm going to go with a decision for Dmytro KUCHER this time. Next fight is George Groves versus Edward GUTKNECHT. Everybody's thinking George Groves is going to sail past GUTKNECHT even easier than he did against Martin Murray and get another world title shot. It is not going to be that easy. Edward GUTKNECHT has fought the most elite light heavyweights and super middleweights over the past 6-7 years. He has fought some of the best fighters. The only time he's ever lost is to Jürgen Bremer twice, who is an absolute machine. Only just recently lost against Cleverly and was on a massive tear in Germany. And he's only ever lost against Robert Stieglitz, who is a very accomplished fighter in his own right. So it's not going to be an easy test for George Groves at all. But let's be honest, George Groves showed massive improvements in the Martin Murray fight that he has in his previous fights with people like Carl Froch, etc., and Badou Jack. He shows that he's very motivated, and I can see him going in there with a very stiff jab, being slightly too strong for GUTKNECHT. Even though GUTKNECHT is very resilient, I can see George Groves picking him apart, being a lot more faster than him, and I can see him being a lot more stronger than him, and I think he will slowly deteriorate GUTKNECHT's will to win, and I think it's going to be George Groves' decision, 12-round decision. Now the big one is Andre Ward against Sergey Kovalev. Russia v USA. Pound for pound versus pound for pound, 30-0 versus 30-0, an absolutely monumental light heavyweight showdown. I'd never thought I'd see a fight like this in boxing this year, and that is all down to confidence from both camps. Andre Ward can do anything he wants. He can stand in the pocket, he can stand out from a range, he can throw punches from angles, he can do everything, whereas Sergey Kovalev, he only has one boxing style, and that is coming forward. He's a very good boxer. People think of him as Kovalev, just some crusher who's finishing people and throwing big, heavy hands. That's not just Kovalev. Kovalev beats people with a jab like he did against Cleverly. He has a lot more intelligence in his ring craft than people think he has. So it's all going to be down to whether Kovalev can stand in there and deal with Andre Ward's technical abilities, and if he can get inside, throw those big hands and hurt Andre Ward. That's going to, I think, be the only way Sergey Kovalev can win this fight. Andre Ward, I don't know what sort of style he's going to present against Kovalev. I don't know if he's going to try and stand on the back foot. I don't know if he's going to go in there and try and smother Kovalev and stay away from those punches by getting inside. I don't know what Andre Ward's going to do, but I have full belief in Andre Ward in this fight. Even though he hasn't fought anybody properly in, what, 4 years, he always comes ready, and he always comes through and puts on a good performance. And I think if Kovalev puts on a performance like he did against Isaac Chilemba, it's not going to be a good night for him. But if Kovalev catches him like he does with every single opponent he fights, Ward is game over. But I think Andre Ward has a good enough chin. He's not fought anybody with Kovalev's power, but I do think he has a good enough chin just to stay away from those punches, use his boxing ability to stay away, jab, and get a 12-round decision. That is my predictions. So yeah guys, sorry for ranting on. I'm now going to finish this video. I'm going to go and chop up a bit of wood because I'm running out, so better go. Catch you later. Ciao for now, sound.